standing in front of the shop air compressor, which is outside, and it's an Ingersoll Rand T30. It is about 23 years old, and it was with the shop when I bought it 10 years ago, and I've used it for 10 years. About 3 years ago, the motor went out in it, and a good 3,450 RPM motor was of about $1,200, and I didn't want to spend that, so I bought a 1,750 RPM 5-horse motor, 220 single phase, and I asked my compressor repairman if that would work, and he said it won't recover as fast, but as long as you're not running a lot of tools, it should handle it. And it has. It's done a great job for me here with 1 or 2 tools working at a time. So the only place that it's struggling now is to keep up, and I think the motor's going bad. It could be something else. I'm going to get the repairman in here and see. But it's a 15 CFM with 3,450. Assuming that because of the recovery time, which has to do with the CFM, I'm thinking, with 1,750 it probably makes it about a 7 CFM machine, which is marginal with the new honing thing I put in. It can keep up, but it struggles to keep up. So I might have to take a breather every little bit. But it's also old. So this is my shop air, and I'll talk about how it works inside and how it works. It definitely is big enough to run anything in a 1 or 2 man shop. When it was new, it ran 6 men. There were 6 employees here that run air tools pretty much off and on all day, and it did fine keeping up with them, I've been told. Anyway, we'll move inside now and look at the rest of it. This is where the air comes into the shop, and it used to have a refrigerated unit sitting here that dried the air prior to letting it go on into the shop and around the shop. That was I did away with that about 3 years ago when I sold a paint booth. I sold it with the paint booth. So that's there. Now we'll go look at one of my stations I have. I have about 6 air dryers around the shop. So go look at that. This is one of about 5 dryers I have around the shop. So I have one in the middle of this bay and another one directly behind it, and the same way in the other bays is I have them where I don't have to pull a hose all the way across the shop, so they go across. And all of the air lines in this shop are galvanized pipe. So basically just a regulator, a dryer, and this one has an automatic drain valve on it. So the minute the air goes down, it pops up and drains it. So I don't have that on all of them, but I'm working on it. But this is the continuation of that air, and so I wanted to not have to turn the shop air on for all that I did. So I have a a pancake compressor. I sometimes can't come up with words. It's an age problem, I think. I have a pancake compressor that I have on a little dolly that I can hook to the shop air and fill up the whole shop air with a pancake and then just use it for blowing off things and things. Or I can roll this to wherever I'm going and use it wherever I am in the shop. So that's kind of how I keep from turning the shop air on all the time. Being part-time, being a hobbyist, I'm not always out here working. I've got other things going on, so I don't use shop air like every day like I'm working here. So I'll do that, and I'll show you that now. I'll reset up and show you that. Basically what I did is I took an old lawnmower, turned the deck upside down and remounted it and set my pancake compressor in it, and I roll it around the shop. So that's my mobile compressor. It lets me get quick air someplace and move on over someplace else and without having to contend with airlines. So this is my method of air here, and I did try to run the blast cabinet and the wet blast with this thing. It's a 3 CFM machine, and I let it charge up to about 120, pull the trigger on the gun and get 2 good passes on it, and then I was done. So it does not work at all for any kind of blasting, but it is good for airing up tires and blowing off parts and whatever, cleaning. So it works good for that. Saves me turning on the big compressor. There's another compressor just past that, as you can see, that belongs to somebody else. They just brought it to me and put 4 wheels on it so they can roll it around. And it's, I'll get to that next. And that's kind of ends this little short on air here. The air situation keeps coming up in conversations, and I thought I'd say what I have here. There is an empty bay. Well, it's not empty. It has a truck in it now. That where the paint booth sat before I sold it. The reason I sold it is that my age, it is difficult for me to paint an automobile. It just takes too much time, and I have to rest in between, and flash time is too quick for me to be able to do that. So I just don't paint anymore. So I just put the paint booth online and sold it. They came and took it down and hauled it off. So give me an extra bay to work in without having a paint booth there. So that's why the air was kept so dry in here, although I like dry air. So that'll end this little short. Thank you for watching.